How's it going, beeps and boops? Here we are for another episode of Bot Talk. I'm your host, David Borman, and let's look at the charts. Oh, but first I want to note we have an orchid now in the background. See, it's not just a plain white background, but it's don't get too used to the orchid. It's I don't know what ultimately is going to go back there. Don't worry, don't eyes up here. So let's talk about the charts. Let's talk about Bitcoin. We've been mostly going sideways over the weekend. The support at about 8,000. We have a support zone here I've talked about. Looks like it's holding pretty well. The 200-day moving average has proved to be now resistance, basically. But it is rising and will be rising for some time. So that might allow us some wiggle room to get back up towards 9 or towards 8.8. I think is actually a key level. Yeah, not too much to say. I think that we might be in for some more sideways action for a little while, like I talked about before. But the key things to watch are, one, a break below 8,000, especially a break below 7,600, I'd say. This is kind of the support zone, but watch for 8,000 first. And then we have a little bit more support down about 7,100. We'll see if we even get there, but it's certainly on the table still. For upside, again, we have to see if we can break this moving average or if we can just stay below it until it rises enough that we can test up to about 8,800. That's the key level you're going to want to watch if we try to get back up, is a break of 8,800, and then pretty quickly we'd probably break 9,000 too. So that's what to watch for the market. For now, it's pretty much going sideways though, and it's not exactly a prediction, but it wouldn't surprise me too much if we see some more sideways action for a little bit. So let's move on to news. All right, first up, a couple stories that feel like I'm rehashing things I said last week because I talked about China last week briefly. This is a different thing. This is China's new digital currency that they're working on. Again, not too much to say here except that if you don't know, basically China announced they're going to have their own national digital currency, like a national crypto basically, though it's not clear exactly how it's going to work, so it might not be a true crypto, but we're not sure yet. This article is basically, it talks about how they're going ahead with it. I just wanted to touch on the fact that I'm personally disconcerted. I'm not trying to pick on China itself, but I'm personally a little disconcerted at any kind of national cryptocurrency. It's one of those things where the power of crypto could be turned on its ear as an oppressive force if nation states, governments, big banks start taking control of it. Like any technology where it comes out and we think it might help people, but then they have a way of turning it against us. So there's nothing I can really say. If your government, whatever country you're in, decides to push a nationalized cryptocurrency on your digital asset, that could be problematic. I don't know that you can really censor Bitcoin or other certain cryptos, though, so that's what I think might give us a chance of not having to one day, if you're in the U.S. like me, Fedcoin. I just worry that that's what could hurt crypto, is that if governments of the world start basically forcing digital currencies down our throat while censoring the existing cryptocurrencies, I'm not sure they could stop you from using them, but it's something to watch how governments respond to cryptocurrency, and if they implement their own, Fedcoin or whatever, I'd be wary. It's something that I find unsettling at the very least. So another thing to touch on again really quick, that Google's quantum supremacy. Basically, here's an article from CoinDesk just exploring both what it really means for crypto. I was talking about how quantum computing could be a problem for cryptocurrency. It's not yet, and this article kind of explains that while this is a nice step forward for Google and for quantum computing in general, that quantum computing is kind of developing faster than we'd expected. But no, we're not at the point yet where any given crypto or cryptography in general is under attack. It's just maybe getting closer. But already, and the article goes into this, there's people working on algorithms that are quantum resistant or quantum proof, and we don't fully know exactly what the full capabilities of quantum computing will be when we get there. So the final say isn't written yet, and I wouldn't panic just yet, but definitely keep your eye on quantum computing. I just wanted to reiterate that. All right, now one more story that isn't something I already talked about. I just thought this was fun. British employees are deliberately sabotaging workplace robots over fears. Jesus, could there be more ads on this website? I know. Are you with me where you're just like, get the fuck out of there? But it's reality. So anyway, basically it's talking about how in the UK a study was done that sees that the workers in the UK are more hostile towards workplace robots than they are in Norway, I guess. They're comparing these two specifically. And I guess they found that they're sabotaging certain workplace robots in an effort to make them not take all our jobs. I just wanted to touch on. I think it's funny. It's also not funny at all because the reality of people losing jobs because of robots is happening. I do think in the long run society will be okay for a lot of reasons, because I think new jobs and new ways of living will develop. But could it be very difficult in the short run? Could people have problems? Yes. But I also think it's funny, the idea of people breaking robots so that they don't do well enough to, keep getting... It's a drop in the bucket. Robots are coming. We're not going to stop them. That's part of what this show's about. So, but at the same time, my fellow humans, I do appreciate your concerns over what's going to happen as more and more of our jobs are outsourced, or not even outsourced, just replaced by robots. Yeah, we'll cover it on this channel, so stick around and we'll see what happens. I don't have it's not just a good or bad type thing. We're just going to talk about it. All right, that's about it, but I do want to leave you with one fun little parting gift on that note about how robots are coming to replace all of us. Oh, look at that terrible compression quality. But don't worry, you get the idea. You've probably seen this. Look at that. I can't even do that. What? Oh, look at that. Oh my god. This is just the beginning. Oh yes. Alright, that'll do it for me today. Come back on Wednesday. I should have a slightly more in-depth video where I'm going to discuss sort of how I approach where I find sources. Right now it's fairly willy-nilly, but I also have a lot of thoughts on the nature of how we get our news in a world where fake news and other problems with the dissemination of information pop up a lot, and I would like to share with you my views on it. So look for that on Wednesday. Until then, have a great week.